This is Mouth Media Network. Amplify and connect.
Dear Mom, I know you had high hopes for my life and for my career. I've always wanted to make you proud of me, and I've earned high marks, succeeded at athletics, met a wonderful woman, and grown my career exponentially. Now, my job is to be the announcer for this podcast. So, am writing you to apologize. I know you had wanted more for me. Your loving son, Peter. This is funny people talking.
Hi, I'm comedian Carmen Lynch, and I would rather be getting bunion surgery than listening to funny people talking.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Funny People Talking. I'm so glad you're here with us. It's great to, well, we don't see you, we actually don't hear you, so it's nice to be heard by you again.
We feel your presence.
That's
maybe.
right. I'm Mark Rako. I'm one of your hosts, and with me is Ms. Danielle Beckman.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Danielle.
It's been a couple episodes.
It has, and we have so much to talk about for sure. So much to catch up on. Also with us, our illustrious producer, Elsie.
Hi.
Hi, Elsie.
So
How you hanging?
illustrious.
Yeah, she is illustrious. I think that's a good word. Do you feel that you're illustrious?
No.
Why not?
No.
You just don't. Well, that
Not
doesn't
feeling
apply
it.
to you.
No.
No. Well, how do you feel? What is the proper adjective for you?
I don't know. She looks judgy.
Judgy or judgy?
Doing the do.
You're just doing the do. You're just hanging in there today. Today you're just showing up, and then you'll leave.
Yes.
Oh, got it. Okay. Well, thank you for showing
Waiting for
up.
end of show food too.
Oh, okay.
She's waiting for the end
She's
of the
very
show.
excited about end of. She is, but she's very excited
Yeah,
about end of
'cause
show
I'm
food
really
today.
intrigued, and
Yes.
I want to hear you guys.
She
feedback.
cannot wait.
Oh, good. I'm
She was
excited.
all a quiver. As much as Elsie can be all a quiver,
I know.
she was that.
Yes.
Also in the studio with us today is a comedian extraordinaire. Her name is Carmen
Hello.
Lynch. Hi, Carmen Lynch.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We've actually tried to have you for a while now, and finally it has
It
happened.
finally worked.
Schedules align, the stars align. We are, all kidding aside, we're delighted to have you here. You have accomplished so much. You've been on so many of the big shows, the big, the Conans and the late nights, and you've even been on Inside Amy Schumer, and you've been, or maybe you've been inside Amy Schumer. I don't know. And you've sorry, I don't know. That was just there. I'm sorry. But you a little kind of accomplished and successful.
she is. She's also performed in basements in Times Square with me.
Exactly.
Totally.
So,
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
of course. It's really a rite of passage performing with Danielle in a basement. But all kidding aside, welcome. So excited you're here. You've accomplished a lot. Excited to talk to you about humor and your journey and
Thanks.
play some improv and catch up and everything. So welcome.
Yay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Before we get started with the show, before we get to a nerd tip.
Oh, yeah.
I do have a question for
Oh.
you, Danielle.
Yeah, Mark. What's your question?
I
haven't been
spy
dreading this all week. Go for
With
it.
my little eye,
Uh-huh.
something very sparkly on your finger.
Oh, my God.
Danielle.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Do you have some big news?
I do. I feel like a new woman.
What? Tell us.
Well, a certain boy got down on a knee, and it's not because he tripped. He did it on purpose. And he asked me a simple question, Mark.
Yes.
He said, "Will you help me tie my shoe?" No, he said, "Will you marry me?" Yay! And I said, you better believe it. And I had Post-it notes in my backpack, and one of them said yes, and the others had exclamation points on them, and I like
You had those just because?
Yes, yes. It goes with the whole story.
Oh, okay.
Do you want some of the story?
How about we get into that as we get into the first segment? We're going to deep dive into the whole engagement thing. Oh, wow. And I'd like to point out that it's pretty good that you did, because you've definitely talked about it on the show a couple of times. You're like, yeah, that's in the plan. That's going to happen eventually. And I'm wondering if Timothy's been listening to the show.
Sweating bullets like, it is.
Oh my God, she put it out to the universe. Now I have to do it.
I was hoping you just had Post-it notes that said yes all the time.
Well, I am such a fan of Post-it notes. Not a sponsor, but if you want to send us stuff, we're ready.
I'm so delighted for you. Congratulations. He's such a nice guy, and you're quite a catch. And I'm very, not to imply he's not a catch, just to be clear.
Oh, I caught him though. I'm so thrilled.
You actually seem, although it's been, I don't remember, a week and a half, whatever.
Yeah, it's been a week and a half since he proposed.
You actually strike me as still a little bit shell-shocked.
Oh, I am. And the reason is he's actually in London right now.
Oh.
And so it's kind of like I haven't, neither of us have really processed yet because it happened. And then I went on a retreat right after.
Oh, gosh.
And then right after that, his parents came to town. And then we had a huge weekend conference we both performed at. Then he went to London. So all this to say, we haven't really had this lull yet.
Yeah. Wait, is he a comic?
No, he's not. No. He works at Reuters News, but now they're not called Reuters anymore.
Oh, because you said when we had to perform. That's why.
He played the bass guitar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we also perform in our live weekly Dungeons and Dragons show. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. It's in Brooklyn, And so I am still processing.
Okay, we are so excited. All of us here at Funny People, and on behalf of all of us at Mouth Media Network, congratulations!
Thank
very,
you.
very cool, and I'm so excited.
I know.
I'm so. Yay!
You have no words. And what's so exciting is that just a few months ago, I was at your wedding.
I know. So that was fun. We got married in May. So that was my new wife, myself. So and similarly, if I remember correctly, right after we got engaged, I think she went to California to visit her parents, and so there wasn't a tremendous amount of processing time there too, but it all worked out.
Yeah, so, you got to process. You got to live in the good moments.
I don't know. We'd been together for a long time. I think maybe we had plenty of processing time. All right. Well, as is constantly pointed out to me, to anybody who learns we got married, it's constantly like, well, it took this long, and I'm like, go away.
TikTok. No, I loved it. It was such a delightful wedding.
Great. All right, let's get on with the show. A nerd tip for us.
Yes, I have a nerd tip.
Just the tip, nerd tip. Ooh.
So, this is we're going to go with, this is more of a nerd fact.
I like nerd facts.
So, on this show, I have talked about Pac Man before, but I was very fascinated to find out that Pac Man was actually inspired by one of my favorite foods. Does anyone in this room know this, or should I keep going? Is there suspense?
Really?
Okay. So in 1979, Toru Iwatani, he was an employee of the video game company called Namco. So he thought of the iconic Pac Man game while looking at a pizza.
Oh.
So there was a space left in the pizza by a missing slice that looked like a mouth, and it gave him the idea for a game about eating. And the Japanese name was Pac Man. And then, of course, we westernized it, and it's Pac Man when it came across to North America. But essentially, the Pac-Man is derived from a Japanese phrase that describes the sound of a mouth that a mouth makes when it opens and closes in quick succession. So it's like, I don't think. I don't know. Is that like the Pac-Man sound? But I just love that Pac-Man is essentially a pizza.
Well, I think the tip is that if you're looking for inspiration, just eat some stuff, and you never know what may come to you.
Yeah, I mean, look at Veggie Tales. That's like a cucumber and a tomato. Good old Bob and Larry.
Was someone eating a veggie one time and said,
and
I know
they were
nothing
like,
about the backstory of this broccoli?
Well, no, because it's like a child Bible TV show. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, who knows? So just go for your dreams and don't let anything stop you from eating your favorite food.
Well done.
Thank you.
Now I want pizza.
I really, really do as well.
I wonder if that's end of show food. It's a mystery.
I don't know. Nope, I guess not.
We got turned down.
Yes. Womp womp.
So-
Hey, Danielle.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
I think it's time to start the show.
Awesome.
From the Mouth Media Network studios in New York City, and from the same people who brought you Monkey Radio with Mark, this is Funny People Talking with Mark Rako, Danielle Beckman, and Elsie.
All right, everybody, we're here with Carmen Lynch, the comedian, and very nice person.
She's French.
And she's French today, for sure.
Just today, bonjour.
Bonjour. What is Lynch? Is that French?
Lynch is Irish. My dad's side is Irish. So
And is your
Carmen
mom's side
Lynch.
Puerto Rican?
my mom's side is from Spain.
Oh, dang it. Why didn't I say that? You know why? You performed a thing in Puerto Rico and you performed it in Spanish.
Oh, Costa
And-
Rica.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. But close
Edit all
enough.
this out, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't understand any of that.
She does stand up in English and Spanish. You can
Oh,
talk about
really?
it later.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we have a big show in the New York Comedy Festival coming up in Spanish.
That's so...
at Gotham. If you have any Spanish listeners,
That's awesome. Yeah.
You ever try interpreting for yourself?
as for me, what do you
think
mean?
that'd be a great
As
bit, wouldn't it?
Oh, like
Like,
doing,
por qué no? Why not?
I had to do that once at a show in, I think it was Georgia. It was like a Spanish show, but only three people showed up. And then the other three were in English. So I had to look to one side and then translate the joke. It was like playing tennis because my head just kept moving
my
from one
gosh.
side to the other.
That's funny.
And it was a really good experience, like, doing it quickly,
Yeah.
That's cool.
It makes me think of Andy Kaufman where he's like...
Yeah.
But also, I feel like the cadence of, I wonder if like the comedy, like how did it flow when you were going back and
It's
forth?
different. I'm a little more animated in Spanish.
Okay.
There's something, and now I'm doing it more regularly because we also have a show up in Washington Heights every month in Spanish.
Cool.
And
Who's we, by the way?
oh, I'm sorry, me and a couple of the comics out here, like Brian
you
Grassi.
travel as a group?
We don't travel as a group. We produce a show monthly in Spanish in Washington Heights.
Where's that, up on the Dykeman Street or where?
like
area?
181 and
Oh,
I
okay.
forget the cross street. It's near the A train.
I didn't know there was a place that did comedy down there.
No, there isn't.
That's
it's a
awesome.
restaurant. It's just a Mexican
Oh.
restaurant.
Oh,
and
and
we just like bring a
just-
mic
Oh.
and tell jokes in Spanish.
So cool.
But then for the New York Comedy Festival, we're doing it at Gotham.
fun.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, I noticed when I do it in Spanish, I think there's a part of me that almost cares less because it's not really my job. It's like an extra thing.
Yeah.
So I find myself a little more like, I can do anything. Who cares? Even if I bomb here,
How interesting.
yeah.
It kind of goes back to me, the whole idea of like if you're in sales, especially like telemarketing, once you get that first appointment or that first sale, it starts to come easier, and all has to do with confidence. It all has to do with believing in yourself and the many, many subtle ways that we transmit that even subconsciously.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Our jaw positioning, how tight our jaw is, the clenching of our teeth when we're talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I'm
People
thinking a
can
lot
hear
about
it. They
my
all
jaw.
pick it up, right?
Yeah.
And so it's so interesting. Now, I have a question about that. Is the timing in telling a joke different in Spanish than it is in English? Do you actually phrase things with a different kind of rhythm, if you will, that goes beyond just the physical rhythm of the speech, but with the way that humor is delivered in that culture? Or
Well, I
don't
think
know. I'm not saying it
at
very well.
first I was really nervous to try it because the first time I ever did it was in Spain with my friend who like works and he's Spanish. So he's like,
Yeah.
just open for me. And it would be like 250 people. And I'm like, I've never done this in Spanish. So I wrote everything out word for word. And it was like a monologue. It was like, it just didn't sound natural.
Okay.
And after doing that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it in my head. Like, I'm just going to be like, I'm Spanish right now and just talk. And if the words are
Great.
slightly wrong, that's still funny, because I learned Spanish as a kid. So my vocabulary can be like, 8th grade Spanish.
Yeah.
But apparently it's funny because, I don't know all the adult words.
Yeah.
So
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
that's all you need.
No sé. So, what city in Spain is your mom's side from?
My mom is from a very, very small town near Barcelona. It's called Tortosa.
Okay.
But I grew up in Madrid.
Oh wow.
Oh, come
So-
on. Wow.
That
how
is
cool.
so cool. It is Barcelona, I'm sorry, is that on the East Coast?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So my aunt and uncle live in Denia. Do you know where that is? It's
Mm-mm.
on the coast.
Okay.
And I think it's south of Valencia, north of Barcelona.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, right in the middle there. And they live on the water.
That's
so that's their
amazing.
like where they're retired. Because my tia Rosa is
Tia Rosa.
Tia Rosa, she married into the family.
Uh-huh.
I don't have it in my blood, but I love her. But that's her mother, Margarita, is there and still doing her thing, and they retired there. So
That's amazing.
yeah, I got a place to stay.
That's
There
great.
you go. You say Barcelona, but of course I thought Barcelona.
Yeah, no,
and-
she said Barcelona.
Right. So
See?
I had heard, maybe my wife said this.
About the prince
No, yeah, about like the pronunciation came from royalty and the way he
or the king
said
or
or
something.
king said
I
it
don't
or
know if
something.
that's true. Everyone wonders if that's true, but I don't know. It's like apparently a king or a prince had a lisp, so everyone was like, we need to talk like him, and that's how
Like
it
in the
In
Castilian
Barcelona.
sort of
evolved.
thing.
But I don't know.
That's so interesting. Well, it's a combination.
Well, maybe the internet will tell us, but the internet lies.
It's always
I'm
true.
not looking it up.
Yeah.
Speaking
It's always true.
other Spanish, did anyone
Yes.
here happen to see the movie El Camino?
No, but I almost watched it last night.
Oh,
Did you watch Breaking Bad, Danielle?
so I know.
Okay.
Sadly,
Could
I'm a terrible human. I've only watched one episode of Breaking Bad, and I've only watched one episode
Ugh,
of Game of
so
Thrones,
good.
and I have a
What?
problem.
No.
I know.
well, that's okay.
Don't worry,
So-
I've never seen The Wire,
it's okay.
and I've never seen The Sopranos.
And I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
So there you
There
Okay,
you go.
we're all just coming clean. Elsie, do you have anything?
No Game of Thrones.
Okay, got it.
But I did see all of Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
too.
No, I'm not here to like try to push you on Breaking Bad or anything like that. But so I won't do any.
No, I mean, I would love to see. I would love to watch it. I just feel like I know how it ends. So anyway,
It's cool. I think look, I'm not going to go on about this. For me, what's cool about Breaking Bad is literally every episode feels like a very, very well made feature film.
yeah,
That in and of itself is just a marvel piece of art. And then you move on.
Right.
Then as you get into the later seasons and the thinking that they went through in saying, okay, we have an idea of the whole arc of the season. So
Yeah.
we're going to build in things right from the beginning that tease where the arc's going. It's so strategically interesting
It's
in
so
storytelling,
perfect.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So anyway, El Camino was so fun. And since you plan to watch it, Carmen, I'm not going to
Yeah, don't talk about it. Don't talk
Please,
about
I'm gonna probably watch it tonight. Actually.
Oh.
I won't say
Is it on
anything.
Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I will encourage you to do, I think I can say this without any spoiling at all.
Should
No,
I?
Don't worry. I'm very sensitive
we just
about
covered our
spoiling.
ears.
There is a moment in it
Mm-hmm.
that I believe many fans will revel in.
Okay.
But that moment comes with also a kind of head cock.
Oh,
Do I see what I think I see?
oh,
And there are numerous articles about this moment
Mm.
that basically say, why? Why would you do that? Why? And there's actually a practical story behind why it is. So if I said any more, I would probably spoil it for you.
Okay.
But when you see that moment,
oh gosh.
after you watch the movie, think what could be the moment that would be the moment that all fans would revel in happening.
Okay.
It might be something happens. It could be an appearance from an old character. It could be a death, a return. It could be many, many things.
Okay.
But it will be a moment you go, that's what everybody wanted. And then there's something in that scene that makes you go, am I seeing that right?
Oh yeah, it's like maybe a place where they want you to pay attention more because there's
Maybe.
something happening.
Or maybe they didn't quite expect the fan reactions to
Oh,
that.
interesting.
And there are a number of articles about this.
Right.
Read the articles are hilarious because there were some pretty intense feelings about this. Did you catch any of the articles? Do you know what I'm talking about, Elsie?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you see these articles about this too?
If it's what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll watch it.
Oh
I'll
my
definitely
gosh.
watch it.
I realize,
So
I
many
realize, I
spoilers.
realize I've probably done nobody a service here with this very, very like, clandestine discussion. But
Well, we'll see if hey, leave us a comment if you watch. I
That's
don't
right.
know on iTunes, whatever. Where are we? iTunes, Spotify.
Okay.
Hi.
So let's get back to the
Let's talk about me.
Let's talk about real spoilers. Let's get back to this whole engagement thing.
Yeah, let's
so
talk
tell
about
us the
spoilers.
story. Tell us the story. Tell us what happened.
Well,
first, can we see the ring?
I'm gonna try to be succinct.
And
So-
also
Oh, I know this
backstory.
is a temp ring,
Yeah.
right?
How long have you been together?
right. So backstory. So we have been together for nearly 4 years.
Okay.
So show us that ring there, Danielle.
Okay,
What is
so-
going on with that?
Well, thank you. So this ring, so Timothy's so legit because he did exactly what I wanted. So it's a Morganite
He's
stone.
legit.
He's just the best.
He's too
So-
legit to quit.
He is. He's not going to quit. He's signed on for life. I'm coming for you. No, just kidding. So essentially, the ring was made in North Carolina, and the stone in the middle is a Morganite. It's a gem, and the way that it gets this sort of like pinky, browny, creamy color is by being exposed to very, very hot heat. So in its normal state, it kind of looks like a brown rock. So that's how it gets there. And then the 2 diamonds on the side are actually filler. They're cubic zirconium, and they're going to be replaced by my great grandmother's 110-year-old Italian diamonds. So Margherita Ghilarducci was proposed to in like, I don't know, 1910 or something, 1909. And so Stefano Ceccarelli, my great grandfather, gave those to her. And then those diamonds were passed on to my grandmother Mona. And then now I will have them in my ring.
Boom.
So boom, drop the mic. So to the story. So Timothy apparently wanted to propose to me like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. He was getting it all ready and prepped. And at this point, we've kind of been planning and like dreaming in our brains, like, ooh, we can make sure everyone leaves with Dungeons and Dragons polyhedral dice. Like, we want
So the idea
I
of
want to
getting
wear
married
armor.
was already in the cards.
Yeah, like
probably
we're like
happening.
Yeah,
Just-
like I'm gonna look like a medieval princess. Like we are already like, how many people do we want to invite? So we've kind of been doing this little dream storming or whatever you call it. And but there hasn't been a proposal, so I've still been like wah wah, like down in the dumps. No,
I
not
was going
really.
to spend this money on my evil queen costume, but I'll buy a hot dog instead.
Yes, exactly. So it was like one of those things where I was just eating a lot of hot dogs. No, but so anyway, I was like, man, there must be some sort of delay with this ring because like we know it's happening, but it just hasn't happened yet. And so come to find out, at first there's the stone in the middle is a teardrop shape. The jeweler ordered a stone from California and it came in an oval shape, and they were like, no, the wrong one. So it had to be sent back and another one had to come. That delayed everything by 3.5 weeks. So there was that. Then I wanted this flat bottom architecture. I don't know if you can see that. That made it a little bit longer. But then the kicker, it was supposed to arrive Monday of not last week, the week before.
Mhm.
And it got fully lost in the mail. And when I say fully lost, like they had the USPS like police like segment on it. So Timothy was making calls, all this, that, and the other. And he was going to propose to me on Thursday night. And I sort of had a feeling because what happened was on Wednesday evening,
He was vomiting all day, or
What? He was what?
vomiting all day.
Yeah, and I was like, "Are you okay?" No. Well, what happened? Now, all this backstory, I didn't know where the ring was, right? So I didn't know any of this was happening. So what happened was on Tuesday, so 2 weeks ago, Tuesday morning, I was taken to a manicure by my friend Morgan out of the blue. That I was like, "What? I don't want to go to a manicure. I want to go to Trader Joe's. I got stuff to do." She's like, "You need to come to get a manicure." And I was like, "Fine." And I'm like, why are you paying for a manicure? She's like, oh my God. She's like, Timothy is paying for the manicure. Just calm down. And I was like, why is Timothy paying for a manicure if he doesn't want my hands to look good for a ring? Okay. So this is what I'm thinking. Come to find out, by the way, the manicure had nothing to do with the proposal.
This was completely just.
This is just Timothy showing his love language to me or whatever.
I like how he thinks, though.
That's
I
hilarious.
know.
That's so
isn't
outside of the box.
He's such outside. He's way out of the box. He can't even see the box. So anyway, speaking of a box, I'll show you the ring box. It's really pretty while I talk. Anyway, so is this loud? Me going through my purse?
It's audio.
Can
it's
you
good
hear
when
it on
it's
air?
loud.
Crinkle, crinkle. Look at this box,
Okay,
y'all.
so describe it. It looks like. Oh,
It looks
neato.
like mountains.
Okay, so it's just to describe this. It's like if you were to take.
It's made of olive wood.
If you were to take a triangle pointed up and then cut like the top half off of it, that's kind of what and you just left the bottom half. That's what it's like narrower on the top.
It's like a mountain.
A little mountain, and then you take the top off of it, and it's sort of jagged, like you split in half, and inside of the box. That's so cool.
It looks like
It's
a piece
magnetic.
of chocolate, like from a
It does.
like a
A
Toblerone.
Toblerone. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
Toblerone
yeah.
chocolate.
Without the
Exactly.
Now I want
So-
Toblerone.
So I know. Oh, me too.
with pizza.
With
End of
pizza.
show food
Now,
later.
which would be the chaser? Is the Toblerone the snack?
No, we can
or
do
the
a sandwich.
appetizer?
One of
a
each.
sandwich, really?
I'm down.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and
Oh, the
now
sweet and salty
for
thing
my
together.
Toblerone box. Anyway, basically that was my little inside the box joke, so I had to bring out the ring box. But so what happened was I received an envelope Wednesday evening, and it said "Do not open until tomorrow at 5:25 p.m." And then on the flip side, it said, seriously, do not open, because Timothy understands that I am terrible at surprises. Terrible. I need to know now everything. I'm like Kristen Wiig's character on SNL. And it's a tamper-proof envelope it's like a bubble wrap tamper-proof envelope. So obviously I cannot open it without him knowing. So I'm like, oh, interesting. He's like starting a little scavenger hunt. And I was shaking it and I was like, is there a ring in here? What's in here? And it kind of sounded like Dentine ice gum, and I was like, ooh, maybe there's gum in here. So the next day happens. I'm working an event. I'm working a gig.
So you've got an
And-
entire day with knowledge that there's things you don't know.
Yes, and I had to put it in my bag because I knew when my gig was over that I was going to go straight to the date night thing where I was allowed to finally open the envelope. But wait, at 4 p.m. that day, it's raining, it's nasty, it's gross, like the weather was terrible. At 4 p.m., I get a text from Timothy in all caps, do not open the envelope. Plans are changing. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I've been holding this for 24 hours.
That's so exciting.
I
Like, even the plans are
know.
changing, I'm like, that already
You're
sounds
like,
really exciting.
I
Tell
hope there's
me
nitroglycerin in that envelope because I'm going to need it for my heart attack.
Oh, dear
Good
heavens.
Lord.
But
I
didn't you
I
know,
should've-
sort of know, because you know that
Yeah.
you're getting the ring fixed and everything, right? Like,
No, No, I
No
knew
idea.
none of the ring stuff at this point.
Oh.
So that I kind of buried the lead there. No, I led with the lead. I don't know what that is.
You
But
led.
I
It was the lead.
yeah, I leaded the lead.
Okay.
Okay. So at this point I'm like, okay, something's happening. So he's like, yeah, but babe, instead of doing that plan with the envelope, we're going to have such a fun night. We're going to watch a movie at your house and order pizza, speaking of, and it's going to be great because he knows quality time is my love language. So he's like, we're going to have quality time together, your favorite. And I'm like, okay, you're acting weird, but I'm excited. So we hung out, we watched Spider-Man. And then when he arrived at my apartment that night, he took that envelope and exchanged it with a new envelope that said, do not open till 10:55 a.m. tomorrow.
Very clever.
And then on the other side, it said, seriously, how dare you don't? And I was like, oh God. Okay. So he goes, and he knew that I was going on a retreat that I was teaching a workshop that weekend, and I had to be in Williamsburg in the later afternoon the next day. It was a Friday. So he was like, tomorrow, Friday, can we go to brunch at 11 a.m.? And I was like, okay. And he's like, that special plan is back on. And I'm like, oh, cool. Now, mind you, all this time, Timothy has been saying this thing called a celebration dinner is something he's wanted to do for the last 3 months, because we've had a lot of wins lately. I got an agent. We had some new cast members come on. He got a new job. We've had a lot of wins happening. So he's going, we need to do our celebration dinner. I want it to be fancy. I want it to be actually nice. And it's kind of been put on hold multiple times. So this he's calling the celebration brunch, and I'm like, in my head I'm like, oh, okay,
Great.
like this is a celebration
So I
brunch.
get 2 mimosas.
Yeah, like great. What am I doing? Yeah. So we 10:30 I walk out of my apartment. He meets me there. He walks zigzag all around Brooklyn until we find an Uber and get into it. And then that takes us down to kind of near World Trade Center on the pier area. And just north of World Trade. And we get out of the Uber and he goes, you can open the envelope now. It was like 10:56 and I was like, ah! So I'm trying this tamper-proof envelope. I finally open it and it is non-nausea gum. So it was like this ginger gum so you wouldn't get nauseous because he knows on things like boats, I get nauseous. I was like, we're getting on a boat. And he was like, yes, we are. So we walked around and we had this beautiful lunch on this huge ship, just like in the dock with like hanging lights and like a beautiful bar in the middle. And he's like, so yeah, this is our celebration lunch. And I'm like, oh. And I was just I completely deflated everything in me. I was like, oh, cool. Like this is
Thought I was getting engaged,
great.
maybe.
Yep. Yep.
We were gonna
Here
have
we
this
are.
huge
Yeah,
this
so-
all come down to
so, yeah.
this.
For like the whole lunch, I was like, yeah, bring more caviar, fine. Like this is great, like whatever. You know, like I was so over it. And I had my sunglasses on, and Timothy, in retrospect, he was like, I loved watching you go through this because you had no idea. And he was like, and I was just so excited. And I was like, man. And there was one point where he said to me, he's like, I'm gonna use the restroom. I said, great. And then he came back. He goes, the bathrooms are so cool here. You should totally use the bathroom. And I'm like, fine, I'll use the bathroom. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'll use the bathroom. Well, at that moment was when he made sure that the photographer was in the right spot. And I had no idea any of this was happening, right? So I come back up and I'm like, he's not on a knee. This is dumb. I gotta go. Like, I was like, okay, well, I have to go to my gig, so let's go. So we leave. Of course, I was very thankful. Like, it was like an amazing dinner. I'm making it out like I'm very sassy. But we got off the boat and we get to the side of on the pier, and there's this perfect corner where you can like essentially just there's a good view of everything. And there was a runner stretching in the corner. And Timothy was like, Danielle, he's like, we should get a selfie right where that runner is of the ship. Like, it's a great angle. So let's wait for him to move. And that is not a weird request for him. Like, Timothy does stuff like that all the time where he's like, ooh, we need to try this exact same thing. So let's wait. Like, so for me, I'm like, oh yeah, let's just wait. Like, nothing was abnormal, nothing. So we're standing there, and this runner was stretching every single muscle he had. It was like quadricep, lateral bicep, I don't know. I'm making up muscles now, but like he was there for like a 5 solid minutes, and let me tell you, it was so incredibly windy that day. I don't know if any of you were outside on that Friday morning. It was so windy, and it was cold, but the sun was out, but it was so windy. So I have this hat on. I'm like shivering and chattering. And he's like, and finally the guy moves. And so we go in the corner, and Timothy's like, okay, babe, let's take a selfie. He's like, put your bags down. And I'm like, no, it's fine. And he's like, no, like, just put your stuff down. And he's like, do you want to wear your backpack in the picture? And I'm like, I don't care. I'm cold. We gotta go. And so we take a picture. And then we're standing there, and he's like, babe, I just think that you're so amazing. And I'm like, oh, thanks. I love you. And he's like, yeah, and I want to tell you that more. And I'm like, oh, good. He's like, learn the love languages. Like, yeah.
Did you just read that book?
Yes, we did. That's why. That's why I'm like, oh, he's like communicating. This is great. And then this is when it changed. He was like, you are a lightning bolt in my life. And I was like, oh, this is new. Oh, what? I was really listening. I was like, I'm a lightning bolt, like the emoji, or like what?
Like Harry Potter?
Yeah, I'm like, what kind of lightning bolt? And then he was like, and I have a question for you. And I was like, you do not. I was like, you do. You have a question. You have a question. And then it was like spontaneous waterfall of tears from my eyes. Like, I just could not. Like, it was like I went from being fine to just gushing tears. And that was when he like pulled out the cute little Toblerone box. And got on one knee and he angled perfectly. I had no idea the photographer was there, by the way. And this
And
is
was that the runner?
what? No, that would have been awesome.
That
Right?
would
I
have
thought
been so
the
cool.
photographer's like, I'm just gonna stretch. and
No,
stuff.
he hired a Reuters photojournalist who was literally just in Area 51 like the week before,
Wow.
and like now he's here taking pictures of
Wow.
us, like crazy. So the shots he got are unreal. Like they're unbelievable.
They're like real TMZ shots.
They're like yes, like we're VIP TMZ. I'll show you later, Carmen.
I'd love
That's
to
awesome.
see
Yes,
them.
but anyway, so I said yes, and that's when I was like, I had a feeling, and that's when I got the Post-it notes out and everything.
That's awesome.
And the cute part was when I said yes, like I got down on a knee with him too, and I said yes, and then like 30 seconds later, we're talking, and he goes, "Wait, you said yes, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." Did you black out? He's like, "I did. I totally blacked out. Like I forgot what happened." So it was awesome. And then his mom happened to be coming to town a couple days later, and his dad did like a little pop up for one night, and we had dinner at the Freedom Tower on the top deck. And
Oh.
from our table, we could see that
Spot.
boat in the harbor.
Really?
It was magical. Like it was so
That's
awesome.
the greatest.
Yeah.
Oh, Danielle, congratulations.
Thank
What a great
you,
story.
guys.
It was the
Story.
greatest.
I
Now,
know.
were people gathering when they saw him propose and you?
Yes, this one random girl Instagrammed us, and she was like they came up there like, "Can we send you a video?" You know. But the other real quick thing is that the ring came Thursday morning when it was supposed to come on Monday, and when it came, and he proposed Friday.
Okay.
But he was gonna do the Thursday night thing, but it was raining and pouring, which is why the boat thing didn't work. But it literally came Thursday morning, but on Thursday he had surrendered. He said, "You know, if the ring doesn't come, I don't care. I'm proposing tomorrow. I'll go to like one of the cute little boutique jewelry stores and get her a different ring until it comes, because I'm freaking proposing this week." Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so by that time he was like, it was so liberating. And then he was getting ready for work in the morning, and he
Yay.
heard the buzzer. And Victor, our postman, Victor, the USPS guy, was like, "I got a package for Reese," and he was like, "Stay there!" And he was like throwing on his clothes.
Oh.
And I got to meet Victor last week and thank him and show him the ring. It was really
That's
nice.
fantastic.
And Victor said, "Hey," he said, "good for you. I've been married 37 years, and it's the best decision I've ever made."
Yeah.
That's what he said when he handed the thing to Timothy.
Aw.
And I was like, "This is
Boom.
Hallmark worthy."
Yeah.
So thanks for letting me tell.
A date yet set?
It's summer 2020.
That's
so like
fantastic.
That's
soon.
good.
Yay.
Hey.
Boom. Well, congratulations. So
Thank
happy for
you.
you.
That's such a great
Thank you for sharing the story.
Thank you guys. This is great that I have a soundbite now, so I can just forward this episode to my
I know.
friends. Just go listen there.
Just listen there,
It's
right?
like we're having coffee.
That's fun. That's
right?
fun.
I know.
So I actually am inspired for our improv game.
Okay, I'm ready.
So we're gonna do. I love the idea of asking a question.
Ooh.
So we're gonna play a version of questions where the entire scene is just all in the form of questions.
Okay, fun.
But it's going to be unrelated to getting engaged. It's going to be question interrogation.
Okay.
So both the person that's interrogating and the other person who's being interrogated are only talking in questions.
Okay, cool. Which
right.
is funny because that's like a rule of improv not to do.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We break rules.
That's right. We're anti-improv.
Yes.
So,
Okay, sweet. That's fine.
how about Danielle and you and I start,
Okay.
and then we'll maybe Elsie and Carmen can do the next round. So,
Love it.
Carmen, I would love for you to give us a situation that is requiring an interrogation. It doesn't even have to be the police; it could be anything.
Oh.
And Danielle and I will interrogate.
Okay.
Who's interrogating who though?
I don't know. What do you want?
Ooh, I don't know.
A student is trying to find out from his teacher what grade he got on the history test.
Okay, I love that. That's great.
Great.
Okay.
Great. I'll be the teacher.
Okay.
That's right. Typecast.
So, teacher, is there any way, please, you could tell me what grade I got on the test?
What do you think?
Well, don't you think I deserve an A?
Don't you think I deserve more than you're begging?
Well, wasn't I here every class this semester?
I don't know. Were you here every class this semester? This is fun. Sorry.
Didn't I raise my hand and want to answer every one of your questions?
Ooh.
She's out.
No. Can you repeat your question? Oh, that was a question.
That was a question.
Yeah. Don't you think I should be tired of repeating every one of my questions every time? Don't you listen?
Don't I listen?
Was that too forward of me?
Don't you listen? Don't you understand how upset your parents are going to be when they find out?
Are you unaware I'm an orphan?
Wait, say that again.
Are you unaware I'm an orphan?
You're an orphan?
Do I have to say it more than once? Don't you understand it's painful?
Don't you understand how awkward I feel right now?
Do you want to try living my life?
Do you want to go to the guidance counselor, honey?
We have a guidance counselor? Don't you think that would have helped me a long time ago in the semester?
Why is this so hard? Do you have any friends?
Have you ever seen me with any friends in the class? How do you think I did so well in your class? Did I do well in your class?
This is really hard. Do you think you did well in my class?
Isn't that what I've been trying to ask you the entire time? What grade did I get?
What if you list off the whole alphabet and I'll tell you what grade you got?
That's all it will take? A.
How about you try?
B.
Oh,
C.
how about you stop right there?
Oh. Did I really get a C? After all that hard work?
Oh my gosh, I want to use a statement. How about you just go have an ice cream?
That's how we ended up with a statement, right?
Bye.
Okay, there you go.
I'm like, that is
And
so
scene.
hard.
It's
I don't
tough.
know if that's enjoyable to listen
Maybe you
to.
just have
It's
to-
like
maybe-
a mind brain. It's a mind
Do you know what I seriously do? And I hope I'm not going to offend anybody, honestly. But I kind of think that I feel like when you're trying to do a Jewish accent,
Oh, like it's like a
always
New
little
York
up.
accent.
It's always a little up, right?
Uh-huh.
So I always kind of thinking a question.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you want? Do you want to kill your mother?
Or Australian. Like, so do you want to meet me later?
I would do that, but as
question?
you know, I can't do an
I
Australian
know it's my
accent.
favorite accent. But everything is a question.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's take.
Wow. Can you
let's-
guys do Australian
let's-
now?
Okay,
I
so let's do
can't,
another
I
round.
wish.
It's going to be Carmen and Elsie. Let's see who wants to interrogate whom or ask questions of whom.
Well, we're both asking questions.
Yes,
right?
who's
Yeah.
the subject of the question asking?
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do I kind of want to make it about murder though. Can
Okay.
I?
Sure.
Yeah. So, Carmen, your best friend was murdered with a toothbrush, and Elsie, you are suspicious of Carmen doing the toothbrush murder.
All right.
The toothbrush.
Go.
Next on AMC, the toothbrush murders.
So, are you aware of what the murder weapon was?
What are you talking about?
Oh.
There was a murder. You can't tell me you haven't heard about it, have you?
Was it today?
It was last night, but can you tell me, did you know the person that was murdered?
Did she look like me?
She did not look like you, actually, but you haven't directly answered my question. Did you know the person who was murdered?
Maybe I did.
That works.
Well, the rumor is that the decedent was your best friend, and my question is, how would you not know something like that?
Because I'm so busy at my law firm.
You work in a law firm.
I love how Carmen's questions are just statements that are a little lilted. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You didn't know that I was like the most prestigious lawyer in New York City?
What is it that you do in your practice?
You haven't heard about the kids not getting into schools and cheating their way into colleges.
I'm not exactly sure what that would have to do with this case. Could you please explain it to me?
Do you know anything about the Colgate toothbrush murders? Psychologist?
Do you know your Miranda rights?
You know I'm Miranda, right?
And scene. That's good. Very good. Thank
That
you,
is
ladies.
hard.
It is hard. It is
Yeah.
hard.
I
It is
know.
hard.
It's like, don't you know I'm amazing? It's like, is that a question? Yes, it was. Okay.
It's all about that last
I know.
syllable.
The-
Well, I just felt a question game was appropriate for someone to just answer a question.
Yay.
So let's take a quick
Pop,
break,
pop, pop
and then
the
it's
question,
all
pop.
Carmen right after
What?
this.
Tina Fey. Tina Fey. Tina Fey. Tina Fey. Fey, comma, Tina. Tina Fey. Tina Fey, Tina Fey, Tina Fey. This is Funny People Talking.
All right, we're back on Funny People Talking, and we're here with Carmen Lynch, the comedian extraordinaire. Okay, so I'd like to start with this question, Carmen.
Is this all still in question format? Just kidding.
Yes, it is. What was the moment so far in your comedy career that most made you all a tingle? Meaning, what was the thing that just sort of took your breath away that it was happening to you?
I mean, this was a while ago, but it still feels like the most tingly because it was just so special and it kind of happened out of nowhere. But when I got Letterman, it was the first late night I did. And I kind of knew that they were going to approach me, but I didn't know if it was really going to happen. Like I had a feeling because
That sounds like my engagement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, where you're like, in theory, this is going to
Yes.
happen, but no one has officially asked me. yet.
Right. Like I was
so
kind
cool.
of told that they were going to watch me, but then when it
Okay.
happened, it was an email out of the blue and I
Wow.
started crying.
Oh,
Just totally
it's
started
just like
crying.
one day. Do you remember the subject of the email?
Yeah, what was the subject
Oh my gosh,
line?
I don't remember. But
Did you not print it out and frame it?
I'm sure it's
The
somewhere
top
in
10
my email.
reasons you'll be on Letterman.
I should find that email.
Wouldn't that be?
should.
You
I
should
have
frame
everything
it.
else. Like I have the blue card that he held,
Oh,
and then I have
really?
the
Fun.
cue card
That is so
framed
cool.
on my wall because people were framing it. And I was like, I want to do that, so I framed it. Yeah.
So how does being on Letterman, as you think back to saying, I'm going to try to be a comedian as a career. This I like it's occurred to me this is a path I'm going to try to follow. And I realize it may not have been a singular moment which you said, I am now going to do this and I'm going to make a career and be successful, as much as you found yourself in it and said, well, maybe I'll keep doing this and keep pushing. Well, first, which was it? That's the first
It was
question.
the first one,
It was
actually.
the first one. Okay.
Yeah,
it was actually
It
like,
was. I was always someone who just didn't know what major she wanted to have in college, what my job was going to be. I was so confused, and I was like, there was so much pressure to like. I remember in college, it was like pick a major, and I'm like, but I don't know what's right.
Yeah.
And it just and then when I moved to New York, I had like a random job as a temp and then in finance and whatever. And I was like, nothing feels that great. Why are people so excited about their careers? And then the one thing I wanted to do was act, but then I started to get so frustrated that, and then I randomly saw people in New York City doing stand up, and I saw that they could just say whatever they wanted to say.
Yes.
They could do it their own way. Like there was no like dressing in a certain way. And, acting is all about like looking perfect and getting your headshots. And this was just like, I could go up in a ponytail and sweatpants. I'm not sweatpants, but basically.
Yeah, most people don't dress up for stand up. It's like whatever
Yeah.
t-shirt I found on the laundry.
Yeah, it's
one
however
layer
you want
down.
to express.
But it was
your-
mostly the
yeah,
writing
what
that
you're
I
doing.
loved. I was
That's
like, I want to
awesome.
write jokes and then I'll just give them to someone. Because I was
Ah.
I was like, there's no way I'm going to want to do this.
How did
Like,
you know you could write jokes?
I didn't know that I could. I was just interested in learning how
Okay.
to. And then I'd written my whole life, like in diaries and journals. I was always writing.
Yeah.
So then I tried it. And that was the part that surprised me, where I was like, oh, wait a second, I'm
Mm.
going to do this, is when I got up on stage. Because when I took the class, I told the teacher, I said, because every class has like a performance at the end.
Yes.
And I was like, just to let you know, I'm not going to perform. I just want to take the class. And he's like, no, you'll perform. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I wanted to be like, you don't know me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Don't know me.
Wow.
And he's like, you're going to want to perform. And I was like, all right, I'm just telling you no, but okay, whatever. So then, of course, I show up to the comedy club.
Uh-huh.
It's like a Sunday at 6. There's 10
Of
people.
course.
But I didn't invite anyone. I was like, because I guess there was a part of me that was like, maybe I will go up. But
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'm not telling anyone. And then I remember he tapped me on the shoulder
Uh-huh.
and he's like, you're next.
Oh my God.
And we had 5 minutes and I did 2.5 minutes because I didn't think I was going to go up. And it was so fun. I was like, this is amazing. And then I got a laugh.
Mhm.
And that was the best feeling ever. And
Yep.
it literally, out of all the jobs I tried to get, all the majors I tried to pick, it just felt right. It was like how I imagined, like a guy walks in and you're like, that's going to be my husband.
Yes.
Like, and I never had those, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was that moment
But
where I
you've
was
heard
like,
about it.
aha, this is it. And I was like, I didn't know that could happen in 2.5 minutes.
Wow.
That's amazing. So
I love that.
now let's go back to the Letterman moment.
Uh-huh.
On your trajectory as you started this path and you said, maybe I could get to here. Where was Letterman on that arc for you? And then,
I mean, it just kind of seemed almost
or something like Letterman.
yeah, almost like too good to be true.
That was beyond the arc.
Yeah, I was like, well, that would be nice, but this is a tough business or whatever. And there were a
Okay.
lot of bumps
Yeah.
Oh, of
before
course.
that. Like I quit for a year because I was having issues with like my family thinking that they're like, this is not a real job,
Oh, wow.
And I was like, but I want to do this,
Yeah.
So there was a lot like running through my head. So by the time I got it, it was the perfect time. I don't know. It just
Mhm.
it was like hard to believe it was true.
Mhm.
So how does it feel like now as you reimagine that arc, now that
Yeah.
you're further down it,
Yeah.
where does that feel on that arc to you? Is that at the beginning now or is that?
Yeah, yeah. It feels at the beginning because I've always wanted like the whole shebang, like the
Mhm.
TV show and the everything. So
Yes.
but when you get it, you're just like, is this really happening?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like looking at it now, I'm like, I have these like big, like these blocks of like late night TV, like even Conan. It's like you never know
Uh-huh.
when you're gonna get it, and even the second Letterman, I was like, really? Like, you
Again?
want me to come back? Like,
Love it.
so all of those just feel like amazing, like not stepping stones, but I guess they are.
They are, yeah. In a
And
way.
then, but then there's like, auditions I thought I'd never have, or
Yes.
so it's more of just this unknown path. And sure, there's like, I just want to keep going.
Mhm.
But you just can't predict it. It's just so hard to predict. I never thought
Yeah.
I'd be doing Spanish
What's the-
shows all the time,
Oh, right. Yeah.
and so
What's
Yeah.
the end of the arc? Meaning, if you, okay, I'm not saying that like you hit that moment, you do that TV show and like you're dead. But I mean, like, as you kind of say, like, all right, that's where I want to go. Where are you aiming?
I mean, it's all bigger, like more fans, which would be theaters instead of clubs.
Okay.
It would just everything would just
Mhm.
be at a bigger level. So I would love to just.
Comedy Central special.
I mean, it doesn't. No offense to Comedy Central, but HBO would be
Showtime special,
exciting. Or yeah.
Mhm. So does that involve like more touring, or when you say whole shebang, does your shebang include like an Everybody Loves Raymond situation where it's like Everybody Loves Carmen? Are you interested in that sort of TV like sitcom, or is it more like your stand up, your voice?
It's a
solo
combination.
act?
It would be like if you look at Jim Gaffigan, he does
Yes.
a ton of huge tours and also is in movies.
It's indie films.
Yeah, indie
like, which
films.
is amazing.
And it's just
I
like,
know.
well, that's to me,
That's
that's
cool.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
So,
it.
and then you add the
Right.
Spanish to that. It's like,
Yep.
well, there you go. But
Right.
I also want to strive and push to things, but I also want to be grateful
Yes.
for what I get, or else I will be one of those people who's like never happy.
Hey,
Do you know what I mean?
Preach it, sister.
Yeah, where you're just like, well, if only I could get so many more Instagram followers. And I'm like, and then someone will come up to me and be like, oh my God, you've done so much. And I'm like, I have, but I want, and then you're like, wait a second, I have to be slightly in the present or it's just all gonna.
I love that. I think that's so important too. And especially in the social media era.
Yeah.
We can just whip up a story that's not even true,
You talked about your family briefly about, you quit for a year because essentially your family wasn't supporting this career trajectory. I'm not saying they didn't support you or weren't nice to you. Or I don't know that situation, but I'm saying my question is, you weren't 16 at the time, right? You were a grown woman by that point.
Yeah, it wasn't that I was like, I quit. It was more like I didn't know if I was doing it for the right reasons because I felt like I was rebelling. And then I was confused.
You want to make sure you didn't throw away a successful professional life just because you were rebelling versus.
Yeah, and I was like, well, maybe I would be happier somewhere else. Like, why don't I just and I didn't pick a year. I just said, I'm going to stop performing and I'm just going to keep writing. And I'm just going to see, where I go.
Yeah.
And then I'm so glad I did because it took about a year for me to go like, nope. I want to perform because I was always very shy. I was an introvert. So if even when I run into people that I've known years ago, they're like, I can't believe you do what you do. And I was like, dude, I can't believe it. Like that just wasn't a thing.
That is so cool.
So that's why I was like, well, let me just see what I can just where this takes me. And then it just felt organic. I was like, all right, well, obviously this is what I want to do. And then I never looked back.
This is like a nice, I was just going to say, this is a nice little, I don't know, like encouraging word to introverts out there. Well, I mean, seriously.
Well, I didn't want to live with doubts. I feel like it's like this for a lot of women too. Like, maybe guys go through this. I don't know, but I've had like some female friends where they'll like fall in love really early on, and they'll be like, "Look, I love you, but I'm just not ready. I need to go out there and date." And then they end up going like, okay, that guy was the one. That's what it felt like. Not that I was like doing this super early, but I was like, I just don't know. Maybe I just rushed into this. And then I was like, nope, this is exactly it.
What I'm hearing is that your career is definitely the love of your life.
Yeah.
Is what
I know, but that sounds pathetic. I have a boyfriend.
No, but have you read?
It
Have you read Amy Poehler's Yes, Please?
No.
Well, there's a part where she talks about how if you're an actor or performer, you should treat your career like an abusive boyfriend.
Yeah.
So essentially, like, just treat your career like crap, and then the abusive boyfriend will want you back, like, ooh, please, please, please. Because if you come around and cater to your career, the abusive boyfriend, they'll push you aside.
Yes.
So the more you're like, so she talks about a love affair with her career as
That's so funny.
And so I mean,
that's so funny. I remember my boss at one of my jobs was like, because she knew what I was doing, and she was like, well, she had 3 kids, and she's like, well, I have kids, and your kid is stand up. And I just went, it just sounded so pathetic.
Thanks for putting that. Yeah, thanks for that.
Oh my gosh.
What kind of joke do you write that actually makes you laugh? Versus you go, oh, this is clever, I think people will laugh. What makes you laugh?
It has to have a little bit of a zing to it. I feel like a little bit of an edge. I mean, sometimes I guess I'll write something and go like, oh, I feel like this could probably really work.
Right.
But I don't usually laugh at my own jokes. It's just a feeling. Okay. I'm just like, oh, this one feels right.
It's like when you swing a bat or a golf club or something like that.
Yeah.
You feel it and you go, I know that ball's going to go because I felt it.
Yeah.
It just felt right.
So it's more like that.
Okay.
I think.
So you're not up there like laughing at your own jokes.
I mean,
you can't really surprise yourself because you wrote it.
Yeah. It's more like I feel good. Where I was like,
great.
oh,
hey girl.
exactly.
Do you sometimes tell a joke and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't realize it was that good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's almost annoying because you're like, I thought I knew myself better.
I know. I would have put that earlier.
Or then, or
closer.
Something that doesn't work. And you're like, but that's so funny, you guys.
Yep. Like, where are you guys? Did you
Those
check
are-
out tonight?
But that one, I feel like it just means it just hasn't found its way.
Exactly.
Usually, I don't give up on those.
That's
well,
great.
speaking of checking out, I know you have a show tonight. Yes. So we're actually in one of those interesting positions in doing an interview with someone where you want to interview them for another hour,
I
but you have to
know.
let them go because they have to go perform. So I want to ask, how can people find you and follow you to come and see you and to learn more about your story?
Oh, that'd be great. Well, I just got my website redone.
Yeah, it's nice,
It's
too.
carmenlynch.com.
It's really nice.
Oh, thank you. And then Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all at Carmen Comedian.
Awesome.
Where in the world is she? She's at Carmen Comedian.
She-
And I got that from Carmen Comedian.
Oh, that's funny. I like
And
that.
somebody actually guessed that once.
Smart.
They're like, "Did you?" And I was like, "Yeah."
You're like, good for you.
Shout out, Boy George.
I love it.
All right, well, everybody check her out. I definitely am really excited to come see you perform live sometime. I really want to
please,
do it. I really
please
would love to. We'll let you know that there is at least a single soul in the back corner, totally supporting you through every joke.
Not heckling.
Not sitting there going, "Entertain me." All right. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with end of show food.
Oh yes.
Connect with the show at Mouth Media Network or at our website, funnypeopletalking.com. And please, for the love of all that is holy, subscribe to the show and leave us a damn review and a really, really good rating on iTunes. Pretty please? Thank you.
Time for end of show food, but first, some housekeeping. It is time for a super quick version of an appeal for Tina Fey. We ask all of our guests to join us in an appeal, a prayer to the universe that someday Tina Fey will bless us with a moment of her time, be on our show, call in, drive by, wave from the distance. We don't care, just something. So a really quick prayer to the comedy gods. Oh, Tina
Ready?
Fey.
5, 6,
Oh,
7,
Tina
8.
Fey.
Tina,
Tina
we
Fey, we
ask
love you.
that
Please
you
be
come
on
here,
the show.
be with us.
Amen.
And Carmen's praying silently. I've seen her, and that's powerful.
Oh yes, and I'll
Amen.
pray loudly too.
No, you're good.
Yay.
You did it. I liked what you did.
All right, it's time for end of show food being the end of the show. And what that means is that Elsie, our producer, has searched far and wide for extremely interesting food, drinks, snacks. You never know what it is. She'll share it with us. We will either enjoy it or hate it, probably enjoy it based on the
I hope
history.
you don't hate it.
She'll tell us what it is, wait to enjoy it until she says go, and then we rate it on a scale of chickens. You have your own scale. It can be 50 chickens, 100 chickens, 1,000 chickens, whatever you want. That's our rating system on how good or bad you enjoyed it. And that's
Sliding
end of show
chicken
food.
scale.
So,
Okay.
exactly. Sliding chicken scale. I like
Whatever
that.
you want.
So, Elsie,
Oh,
what
I
do we
see.
have today on end of show food?
Today we have decadent ale, cotton candy flavored.
What? Cotton
Yes.
candy flavored
Ale.
beer, basically?
Yeah,
Oh.
I thought- we have to.
So this is like sort of like food. This is
Well,
like
cotton candy's food.
you're right.
Yeah.
I love when we have end of show beverage.
All right, this is end of
is
show beverage this
fun.
It is
time.
fun.
So here
Ooh,
she
let's
goes.
get a little-
I can't wait. So this is okay, so I should
wonder
point
what
out
color it
it's
is.
a can, like a beer can,
Oh,
Thank
like a
you.
beer
It
can,
it is ale.
wait.
and it's
Looking.
pink. It's pink like cotton candy, and
But the
Elsie is
ale
pouring it
itself
into
kind of
little
looks-
cups for us. Does it smell like
Does it
cotton
smell?
candy?
It
Danielle?
smells a little bit like cotton candy. It looks, Alex, I'll kind of
you.
describe it to the viewers. It looks like a cloudy cider sort of situation. Maybe like a home brew or like an artisanal brewery.
It's cloudy,
type
very
thing.
cloudy.
To me, it smells like grapefruit.
Yeah, it
Oh, it
does.
does.
It's but there's a hint of
Hmm.
aspartame.
This is cool.
How do you know?
I'm
Oh,
kidding. Wait, how do you know?
there's a little oak in there.
Little
yeah,
beach-
a little oaky
Little beach, well,
aspartame.
riboflavin. There's riboflavin.
Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, drink.
Ready? Go. Natural flavor beaver butt. Remember that?
This is weird.
Oh.
I would never
Oh.
guess that it had cotton candy in it.
Oh.
I might have guessed it has like dead skunk in it, maybe, but
Hmm.
Oh, I don't say that.
Oh.
It's
But
weird.
I'm on a
It's
journey, right?
citrusy. It's definitely citrusy versus.
I don't
It's
taste it.
citrusy.
Well, now here's the thing. It's not very cold.
I don't
so maybe
taste
it's
cotton
better
candy.
cold
Maybe.
or worse.
I don't know.
It says it's an India Pale Ale brewed with Madagascar vanilla bean and spun sugar. So there you
Okay.
go.
Wait, and what's the last thing?
Spun sugar.
I think it was a
Sponge-
great experiment.
Spun sugar.
Where did you find that?
Spun sugar?
You're never gonna believe it. Food Emporium.
I thought you were going to say Rite Aid, and I would have loved it.
Right. Aid.
Spun, wait, spun? Is that your accent? I'm sorry. Spun.
SUGAR. Sugar.
Spun.
Spun sugar.
Spun.
Sugar.
What is that?
Sugar. Spun sugar.
Oh, she's
Cotton
saying.
candy.
Yeah, like cotton candy spun
Oh, like
sugar.
yeah. That's why they called it that. Maybe not. It has
It's
nothing
from-
to do with
I am
cotton
wasted
candy.
off of
from
one
the,
sip.
It's from the country of Spunania.
Of spun sugar.
Spun sugar.
Have
It's
you ever been to
Decadent
Spun
Ales
Sugar?
from
Okay.
Mamaroneck, New York.
So,
Oh.
thank you so much
Okay.
for that. Let's
So,
rate this bad
enjoy
boy
your,
on a Danielle on a scale of chickens, whatever your
Okay.
chickens is. What do you give this?
Oh, 88 out of
The 1,000.
500 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
88 out of 500.
88 poor little chickens.
Oh, and deductions because?
All of the things we just said.
Okay.
The spun sugar.
Carmen, what about you? How many chickens out of how many chickens?
I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10 chickens because it's trying.
It's trying to do something.
It's trying.
Or is it trying like that was really trying?
It's trying to be cotton candy and beer. It's got a little bit of a beer.
You're
thing,
giving it
but
points for effort.
yeah,
Got it.
exactly.
It exists,
Thank
and
you.
therefore
Yeah.
it gets chickens.
Elsie, what do you give it?
38 out of 72.
Ooh.
Yeah,
What a-
if you said that it was grapefruit ale, I would have said
Bought it,
yeah.
yeah.
But the cotton candy fails.
It
I
was
don't taste. An
Technically,
ounce of
the
that.
ingredients are there, but they really never tasted it before
Yeah,
they canned
but
it. huh?
I mean, it's not disgusting. But the thing is that
it?
my brain said I wanted that
Yeah.
cotton candy thing to happen, and it didn't.
Yeah,
and I
that's a
think
good
that's
point.
why we said because it doesn't taste like cotton candy.
I give it 20 out of 100 chickens. 10 of
Okay,
those
wow.
10 of those 20 are given to Elsie for the great idea and purchase and the hopeful spirit. That's would have been amazing.
It has a cool can.
10 of those points are
It
for
has
the
one.
idea that they came up with and saying, how cool would this be in the ingredients? The negative 80 points are for it being totally disgusting. In my opinion. So, but
and scene.
All right.
all right. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much, Elsie.
Thank you,
for
Elsie.
that.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
It's
for
a
the,
beautiful can, though.
It really is. It's one of the prettiest
Look at
cans I've ever
that.
seen. You have that,
That
like
is
a
the prettiest
bachelorette
can.
party.
Oh, it's very cute.
And I think I have
That's
a
it.
mild buzz.
I have two.
I know.
I have too.
That might be poisoning. No.
Yeah,
That's
what's the date?
That's
Sorry.
right.
I have a
Seven
mild buzz from one sip.
7.2 alcohol
It's
content.
botulism.
She was-
It is a high beat.
no,
It's
Carmen was asking the date because she can't remember the date. It,
No, I meant the date of the beer, like if it was from
okay.
1995.
I thought it poisoned you and you like poisoned her.
No, but 7.2 is kind of high.
All right, that's it for this episode of Funny People Talking. Thank you very much for the end of show drink there, Elsie. Really appreciate it. Carmen Lynch, so nice to
Thanks
meet you
for
and spend time
having
with you.
me.
Thank you
That
for
was
a
fun.
great appearance. It was great to meet you, and congratulations, seriously, on all you have accomplished in your comedy career so far. And
Thank you.
clearly, you're not done.
No.
So
She's not.
I can't wait to see what's next. And by the way, Danielle and I are both SAG, so when you get your sitcom, we just want to know
Yeah.
that we're totally do it for food.
Okay.
/ AFTRA.
Okay, me too.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. All kidding aside.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, but I'm kidding. Congratulations. Thank you very much. And good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next week for another episode of Funny People Talking. Until then, for Elsie,
There was no cotton candy in this episode.
Danielle,
There wasn't.
okay, Elsie, too. I'm Mark Rako. Have a great day, everybody. And a reminder to stay funny.
That's it? That's the end of the show? Boy, oh boy, what a crock. This was Funny People Talking. Copyright 2019. No portion of the content may be reproduced or published without the strict written permission of the producers. Connect with our show at Mouth Media Network or at our website, funnypeopletalking.com. I'm your announcer, Peter Coleman. Thanks for listening.
This is Mouth Media Network. Amplify and connect.